role, that first little position, thank you, that first little position we gave them, God is growing you. You got an expanded vision. They want you to go do this little thing over here. Well, in your mind, well, if you come with me, I give you this, I put you in this great place over here. But they don't want to grow to that place. So so the vision is leaving them behind. You know what I'm saying? And what I did in my ministry, what was a mistake was I put things on hold, waiting on folk. I put things on hold, things God was telling me to do. I put things on hold, waiting on people because I loved them. And they started out with me. And I wanted them to go the next place with me. But they wasn't ready for that. That wasn't what they wanted. What I had given them already was enough. And we need to leave this room tonight. If we got enough of God, we need to shut this thing down. We got enough. They was satisfied. They made minister, they made elder, they made deacon, you know. And in my vision, one day, you're going to come off your job and work for the church. But they couldn't even see that far down the road. You see what I'm saying? In my vision, I got a whole department I'm going to create, and you're going to be the, you know what I'm saying? And so sometimes they just can't go with us. But as shepherds, we want everybody to go. And so that's just the love of a shepherd. We don't want to lose sheep along the way. But if your church is going to be missional, if you're going to think about it, that's what we're talking about, missional churches. If your church is going to be missional and you're going to get a plan for your church, that means some people ain't going to toe the line. And then the more you pushing that vision and the more you pushing that vision, and it's in our reading tonight, you know, about people, they over here trying to tear down what you over here trying to build up. You know, so it ain't going to work. Let's pray. I'm talking too much. Come on. Father, we thank you, we praise you, we honor you, we bless your holy and righteous name. Bless these students tonight, Lord, as we look a little bit at growing our churches in Jesus' name. Amen. And so, y'all, the reason I started this particular class is I looked at the revitalization of my ministry. And in the last year, I started the revitalization process. And I've taken some new people into my ministry. And I realized as I started searching that I was never given a true ministerial plan for growth. I was, you know, and I realized that the places I came out of didn't have one. They didn't have set things that they said, you know, if you do this, you will grow. And so that's what we're going to talk somewhat about tonight. We're going to talk about growth and some other things because to be totally honest, there are things that we can do to help things multiply. And nobody ever taught me that. And so when I, like I said, when I went into other circles, when I went into some circles with the Southern Baptists and other people, I was like, because they actually had a plan. And they got a plan people are following, and it's worked. You know what I'm saying? Now, everything they're doing, we may not be able to adapt. And we may not be able to adapt to everything in this book, but we can definitely read it. You see what I'm saying? And take some ideas from it and do some restructuring to get some foundation, you know, under our ministries. And that's when I first started. And that's why I developed this class, because the first time I read it, I was like, okay, you know, some of the things I had actually done, I just had stopped. Because over time, people, you know what I'm saying? We look too much at who's there instead of seeing God building for who gonna come and speaking more to who gonna come. We so concerned with who's in, and I was like that. I was so concerned with who was in those seats that I couldn't get a plan and a vision for the people that, you know, that were gonna come. Go ahead. Everything that we have, y'all, whether it's a church or an idea, needs to have a birthday. Some planners put so much effort into the conception of the prenatal period of planning They fail to remember the importance of an actual birthday. Hey, Pastor. So think about this. Not if we're like doing a new church, but think about this as a new idea that you got that you want to put forward. You know what I mean? And so when we think about not just all of us that have established churches, but I want you to take some of this in the context of not you starting a new church, but say, like we talked about last week, you know, you can have you can do a lot with a new focus group. You ain't got to fight with folk or nothing like that. Just say, this is my new evangelism team. And they're going to be together for the next, you know, 90 to 180 days, and they're going to focus on evangelism. And you take them people in your ministry that's new and that's fresh and that's listening to everything you saying and actually acting on it. You pick some of them people out. You ain't got to set no deacons down. You ain't got to set no elders down. They just going to be your what? Your new focus group for your new idea. You see what I'm saying? And the great thing about them is they really committed to the vision. You can use them and bless them, and you don't have to give them a position. Because they're a focus group. They ain't a ministry. We ain't ordaining them. They're a focus group. I've seen something in these groups of people right here. You got good administration. You know, we look out there. What the missional churches do is they take the new people and put them to work right away. We take the new people, we sit them down in the classes. You know, you think that what they told us, you got to learn ministry, you got to learn, no. They take the new people and teach them some evangelistic tools and teach them right then while they're excited about ministry to go get their family members. To go tell their family members about it. That ain't going to nobody's church. They teach them in the first few weeks, go back and get your family members now. You know, you ain't got to have, they don't want you to preach to them. Just tell them about Jesus as much as you know and tell them how much the church is blessing you. And you see what I'm saying? And they don't wait. So think about this. Every new idea needs to have a birthday. If we're going to launch something new in ministries, every new church or new idea needs a birthday. You need to set a launch date. We want to get something done. You know, we have we launch a building fund and ain't no excitement built around it. Because our whole launch thing is, well, y'all, we want to start raising money. No. It needs to have a birthday. We need to get a name for it. You see what I'm saying? We need to get some people, put them behind it, and have a few meetings and really come up, you know, and really suck the ideas out of our people and then have a launch Sunday. You know, on this month, on this day, this is what we want to get done. And y'all the people I want to run with it. And on this day, and you can even plan a message around it. See what I'm saying? To preach the word, then bring them folks to the stage and say, give it a birthday. Start some momentum behind it. We just, what we do is we stay stuck in the same old fights. You know, some of that stuff, just leave it. You leave it. My daughter, I love my daughter. She's going to be my executive pastor. Somebody in my leadership wasn't doing what they supposed to do, and I was, you know how we be fussing. I'm headed home, and I said, yeah, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. My daughter said, Daddy, you know, they don't do nothing but this, and that. I said, don't worry about it. Just let them do it. I said, you know what? You right. It wasn't even worth no fight. You know, I done got all that. She said, Daddy, they don't do nothing but take out the trash, sweep this, sweep that. So what if they don't do that? That's all they doing. You know, it's like, just let them stay in the position. You know, we pick fights that don't even need to be picked. Instead of concentrating on, and what it's doing is killing the vision that we still got buried, and we won't let it come out because we see so much non-excitement when we present a new idea that their lack of getting behind it is starting to kill us from letting what God still got inside of us come out. And so that's what a birthday will do. A birthday for your idea that you done left buried. You see what I'm saying? For all this time, you ain't went with it. It's been in your spirit. It's been in your heart all this time where you need to set a date Get a launch date and have a birthday for it. Birth it out of you on a given day and create so much excitement, because if we create, what we got to do first is, they teach this, and I'm going to give y'all some other information next week. A guy's coming here. He wrote the book, Leading Major Change. And see, what you got to do is you got to create excitement in a small group first. We get up on a Sunday, we take the big idea before everybody. No. We got to get a small group of people in a room, and we got to tell them what we want to do. And they got to be people that we know going to support our vision, and they're smart. And not only have we got to tell them what we want to do, we got to listen to them. And they might say, well, Pastor, that ain't, you know, we can do it this way, we can do that. And for God's sake, have some young folk in there. Oh, have some young people in there, some 20-year-olds, some 30-year-olds that you know that's faithful. They're just sitting out there. They're just sitting out there. They waiting on somebody. They waiting on, some of them young people sitting in y'all church. If you call them, you'd be surprised. Oh, been waiting. We launched the thing that I was doing. You do stuff. We used to do stuff for birthdays and stuff like that. And I stopped doing it, just because of folk. I shouldn't have never stopped doing it. And one of my young millennials went to my daughter and said, why we don't do that no more? You know what I was like? Yeah, why don't we? And so think of what it built in her when she came to church on Sunday, and her idea was at the forefront. Her idea, which she was just reminding us of what we used to do. Pastor, why don't we bring that back? And I was like, yeah. So when she came in Sunday, her idea was you see what I'm saying? That creates what we're going to talk about tonight. That creates connection. That creates connection. See, we still trying to, we got everything. Remember I told you a few weeks ago what God told me? We trying to build everything off revelation instead of relationship. We got to go back to relationship with people. That's what's going to spur growth, not revelation. Because we got all the revelation in the world, but the people, us and them aren't connected no more. You see what I'm saying? And they don't feel like we care. They don't feel like we care, so they drift off. You see? Oh, go ahead. Watch this. A birthday is a measuring tool for progress. If you got a date, it starts, then in 90 days you can look at it again and see how much you done accomplished. It's a measuring tool for progress. We're going to start on this date. We're gonna make the next 90 days a focus of evangelism. And we're going to have a chart to how many new people done visited and how many souls we done got saved. And everybody, this is the main team. And you put that vision into the main team, and then you send them out into the congregation to talk it up. They talking it up before you make the announcement. Oh, come on, what you say? They talking it up in their little groups. You pick somebody that's in the choir. You pick somebody that's on the deacon board. You see what I'm saying? And you get them in a room and tell them this is what we gonna do. And you get it inside of them. And then you send them out there before you make the big announcement to start leaking it. Leaking it to people and starting a little excitement about it. So now when you get to make the big announcement, half the room's already, Pastor gonna talk about such. Y'all know how stuff go through the church. Pastor gonna talk about such. You see, you get it in that small group, and then you put them out there. You see what I'm saying? The way I created a new fire. I got the older people in my church talking about, yeah, Pastor, we need to have homecoming every quarter. You see, because I started some excitement about what? Homecoming. About new people. I started even some of my old members looking around saying, wait a minute, why ain't the chairs full? What can we do? What can we do to get them? Yeah, Pastor, we need to do that more often. You see what I'm saying? That's what a birthday does. And so now I birthed that, remember that, Adriana, I birthed that homecoming. Now my people want to do it every quarter. So now the next thing I won't be making the phone call. They'll get excited. They'll start making phone calls. They'll start going out there. Hey, we doing it. Pastor want everybody to come to. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because I modeled it. I told them for months I can fill this room when I want. And then 1 month I got on the phone. And almost every chair he was full. Now when I modeled it, when I preached, I said, now y'all turn around and look. They looked around. I said, but see, that's out of my relationship with them. What happens when everybody comes that's in relationship with you? Then we got, you see what I'm saying? That's what this is about. Then the reason our chairs aren't full ain't us. The reason our chairs aren't full is they're not bringing who they're in relationship with. And we got to train them to bring who they in relationship with. We can call, and we're going to stay on, that's just part of our job. We stay on the phone. We might text somebody, or we might remember somebody, and we get in touch with them. And we can always get people coming, but that's going to be limited. That's going to be limited till we can get a mindset of everybody in the room to get on board with one thing, which is filling these chairs. When everybody in the room start thinking like that, then we won't have to have drives and stuff. You know what? They'll call somebody. Pastor been talking about, that's why I'm centering everything around that. My Sunday morning messages, my everything. Everything is centered around missional evangelism, how we going to minister to people, how we going to bring people in the doors. All right? Advertising. Whenever we have an idea, y'all, we have to do advertising. My daughter gets on this with me real bad about this. We don't have an event anymore without advertising, without some type of advertising plan. How are we going to get, remember, I ain't going to tell the story. Remember the incident me and you just went through? How are we going to, how people are going to know what we're doing? How are people going to know what you're about? What is your main mission, your main goal? I know everybody know we're trying to save souls. You see what I'm saying? But how do you go about saving souls? And that's what you need to advertise. Okay, look, direct mail. Go ahead. Direct mail is working, but not everyone, not everywhere, and not as it once did. Okay, you can still mail people stuff. But and it still works. I have 2 lists. I got my list of pastors. That's my Facebook pastor, and I got my old school pastor. That I got to mail them a letter because they don't go on no Facebook. And if I mail them a letter, they're gonna show up. You see what I'm saying? I got my Facebook pastors and I got my old school pastors. So some of us, you can't let direct mail go all the way go. But you got them friends that you're in relationship with, you still need to get them letters out. Right. Now, what I'm telling you now is you need to get them letters out, and you need to have them young people do a Facebook event. Then you can get the young pastors to come. I see the young millennial pastors, they ain't looking at that mail. But if somebody put that Facebook event in their box, and say, are you interested? They're going to be like, ooh, Pastor Chief and them having something. Yeah, I'm interested. I'm going. And so that's how we cover both bases. Go ahead. Establish small groups before the official launch date. That's what I'm talking about. Advertise in your church. Advertise your idea, your event. You got to get people in-house advertising. In other words, just an announcement won't do. No, you got to have strategic people in there that's pushing that event, that you done designated them. Look, y'all job after church today is to go out, shake hands with folks, and remind them that we doing this. We used to, my former pastor, Pastor Williams, used to have enormous pastor's appreciation. Because the elders, you remember that? Because I used to go out and shake hands and kiss babies before the appreciation, 90 days out. We reminding people, we had a team of people that went out into that church. And so by the time his appreciation came around, that was an event. It wasn't an event because we announced it. It was an event because someone came up and asked you to come. Someone came and asked you, and it wasn't the pastor. Wasn't the pastor. Somebody said, hey, man, you need to come to this. You need to come be a part of this. You see what I'm saying? That's what made it so exciting. So we're going to have a end of the year revival. End of the year revival, come on. Advertising for that starts in September, October. Starts in September, October, and the team, it should be an end of the year revival team. Y'all are the ones that's going to push this. You know, and so think about it. Once they push it to the congregation and they think they got good support in the congregation, then 30 days out, they go outside. They go outside and they get the letters out to the churches and they get the Facebook stuff out. And we come up with an advertising plan for the end of the year revival. So it's more than just our people know this person's coming. You see what I'm saying? And especially if they're a local person, then we advertise in our area and their area. And at the very least, somebody ought to be getting it on CGL. That don't even cost you nothing. That don't even cost you nothing to fax the thing over to CGL and you know. Go ahead. Email marketing still has proven effectiveness. We have constant contact. We have constant contact. Constant contact, thank you, is an email marketing program. Don't cost you even $20 a month. You got to find some of these young people that could do this stuff. Don't even cost you $20 a month. Gather all your members' emails. And I'm going to show you tonight, like the system we got in here, gather emails from people that come. And then just email stuff out to them, you know. When the event's coming, email them. Start emailing them. You can set that thing up. You ain't even got you can get the young person to set it up. It'll email, you ain't even thought about it. You can schedule the emails to go out, you going on doing something else. That's the way it works. Constant contact don't even cost $20 a month. Send all these emails out to people. All you got to do is have a system where you start gathering emails. Then when you have your event, you start emailing stuff out. All right? Watch this. Social media is the 21st century town square, such as any new church launch must engage a social media page. Go to thank you, sweetie. Go to 199 in your book. Listen, y'all. Here's the thing. Everybody thinks 199. Everybody thinks a lot. Well, I don't say everybody. I have been broadcasting my services for 5 years almost, since I first came in this building, okay? Facebook is more than Facebook Live. In some cases, if I didn't have people that gave to my church outside of Jacksonville, I probably wouldn't even be doing Facebook Live. But it's become such a mainstream for my ministry that I just continue to do it. So when you talk about Facebook, I want you to put Facebook Live over here for a second. Okay, because what you need to start with is building your home page and getting the people in your church to like your home page and share your events. Start right there. I'm not talking about going to get cameras and all that yet. You know, I'm saying build that good home page. Make sure that who you got over that home page is putting content out 3 to 4 times a week. A message from you, praise the Lord. You done typed it out. Let them do it, you know. A message from you on Monday. Church events come out on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? On Friday night, you know, and encourage, you know, whatever you want to do. But make sure 3 to 4 times a week they putting out some content. I'm putting out content right now. This live. I know people are doing this live. I'm putting out content right now. You see what I'm saying? I'm saying Facebook Live is great, and you can do Facebook Live, but let me tell you something. And here's the number one rule of Facebook Live. Don't show empty seats. You watch me on Sunday morning, you never know. Every now and then I got it panned out, but don't show empty seats.
When you did Sunday with your wife?
Huh? but yeah. Yeah, but, oh, you said it wasn't me this Sunday, it was my wife. But what I'm saying is,
but that was nice.
Yeah, but don't empty seats, that's a killer. That's a killer. And so we don't want to, hold on to this, Pastor. We don't want to do that. But what I want you to do is, I want you to get your people to help you build your page. When you get your people to help you build your page, that will engage your people in social media. So now our next step is check-ins. Well, my daughter gets up here on Sunday morning and says, got your phone? Yeah, check in. I'm at, you see what I'm saying? That's putting content out. That's letting people know about your church. Think about if you could get 20, 30 people to check in every Sunday morning. That's putting content out. Free, you know, that's engaging people. A lot of y'all have a lot younger congregations than I have. You see what I'm saying? They already there with their phones. My congregation is a little older, and I got some millennials. A lot of y'all probably got double the young people I got. And they always there with their phones. And I tell you what, y'all got diamonds in the rough. Y'all got young people out there that's sitting there doing this, that you could put them over this social media. And they'll take that thing and run with it, and you be surprised. You see what I'm saying? All you got to do is oversee their content, or get some senior person to oversee their content. That's all. You know, and they'll run with that social media. So you want to, first thing you want to do is look at this. Look at this thing here. 71, look at the page of 199. 71% of all online adults use Facebook. 58% of the entire population uses Facebook. 67% of all online men use Facebook. You see that? 87% online are 18 to 29. 73% online are 39 to 40. 63% are 50 to 64. And 56% are 65 and above. My mama was 80 years old, used to sit there, watch General Hospital, and have her Facebook on at the same time. You see what I'm saying? So listen, y'all, this is important because I was at a church and the man was preaching against Facebook and iPads. And I'm sitting there like, it's just how people talk. We just need to harness this technology and advertise. You see what I'm saying? You can get the word out about your ministry. I met somebody just the other day. I met him at an event. And I do so much content. She said, oh, I gave her my card. Shofar. She said, yeah, we Facebook friends. That's how she knew about my school. That's how she knew about, just how she knew me from my content that I put out about my school. And so Facebook is a tool. We don't have to go live right away. You got to worry about going live. Just get you a team of people. You see what I'm saying? Get you a team of people that can help you. Facebook, Twitter. The young people like Twitter, Instagram. You can get your phone and take a picture, you know. And you need to get one of them young people in there to help you set all that stuff up and connect it so you can start putting out content. Because it's free advertising. Every event we do, I know you got somebody in there that can set up a Facebook event. Give them your password. Stuff y'all see on mine, you do that. I don't do that. I look at mine, she done posted something. She handles that for me. You see what I'm saying? She got my password, and I ain't looking at nothing I ain't supposed to, so she got my password and everything, and so she goes on there and she handles that. Dad, you ain't put out no content. Dad, you need to go on there and say something. She have to remind me because, you know what I'm saying? Whenever I go to the prison, y'all see all them posts about the prison? She's like, Dad, what you doing with your mentoring group? I say, I'm teaching on this. And she go in there and put it on there. All y'all got young people that do the same thing. They're sitting out there doing nothing. They ain't in the choir. They're not in the choir. You understand what I'm saying? They sitting out there, canvass them young people, and put together you a social media team. And they'll run that thing like you never seen. Because it's just simply how people are communicating today, period. Facebook. And then as you grow, go live. You know, as you grow, go live. First thing people want to do is go live. Nobody in there. Chairs, I saw somebody on there. I was shaking my head. No. No. And see what you, go ahead, Pastor.
I got a question.
Is it on? Is that on, Adrena? Are you muted? Let me see it. Okay, hold on. Let me give you this other one. Yellow? Yeah, give me that. Go ahead, Pastor.
Yeah, because I was looking at some, you know, you got your Shofar background.
Yeah.
Well, we took pictures at that different anniversary, and we got that left. And you know how you see it going, like I was looking at, I was looking at ABC the other night, the ball game.
Yeah.
You know, right there, they just hung the
Yeah.
banner right behind it, where they couldn't see the crowd, but they just saw that. And and I was just thinking, you know, something you said. So, and I got a big old white screen.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just put that behind there, not to go live, but just to have content.
Yeah.
You know,
just
and
my church name or whatever.
You reminded me, I got a girl, it got all the church names like MiamiHousePress.com on, and then we take pictures in front of her.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you can put that out there in the foyer.
I dropped the ball on that because I had this girl, Makila, she was posting me every week, and then I let her got involved with the sports station where she worked for as an underwriter for one of the a mortgage company. But she been asking, Pastor, I want to do something. Pastor, I want to do.
Yeah.
And so you just gave me the word just to go and get her, Rod, all the media team, all the media savvy people in my church. Say, all right, let's go, because what I'm seeing, what I'm getting, I'm transitioning for the next 8 to 10 years.
Yeah.
So now I'm starting turning them loose.
Yeah.
That this is their church. Actually, I'll tell you what the thought came in was, and I've been writing this ever since I've been coming to your class. I've been reminding myself, we'll relaunch it, we'll relaunch it, we'll relaunch it.
Relaunching, revitalizing, using tools that you didn't use before that's already there at your disposal. I'm not talking about going out and spending a whole bunch of money on radio and all that other stuff. I did, hold on, bring it up. That might be my next thing. No matter what your approach, use advertising of your church. Expect complaints. Everybody not gonna get behind it. Whatever it is you take and you start doing, everybody's not gonna get behind it. That's why you got to get the right people to head it up, and expect a little blowback, because certain people does not gonna understand this. But I spent probably about $6,000 maybe. Don't listen, y'all. Unless you got a budget of $1,500 or something like that you can spend on radio, because radio ain't gonna work unless you on every day. Radio, not if you ain't got a budget to be on every day, radio is not gonna work. Now, remember what you're doing. You're spending your budget to recycle, because the sinner ain't listen to the radio. So who you're reaching is recycle Christians, and be prepared for that. You see what I'm saying? That's who you reaching now, because the sinner not listen to the radio. Sinner not listen to the radio. So you got people out there that's done left. See, another reason I have to keep my evangelism up is I take in a lot of unchurched people, and sometimes they don't last, so I go up and down. You see what I'm saying? I go up and down. And so, but I'm not saying radio will never work for events. I'm just saying if you ain't got a serious budget to be on the radio every day, because I was high noon on Pure for 6 months. And ain't nobody heard me but Christians. I'm the only people I heard from. I was high noon, 30 minutes on Pure for 6 months. I was on CGL. Now, that was before CGL had the FM. You know what I mean? And so weekly program is all right for people's ego, but you're not reaching a whole bunch of people. Now, if you got the budget to be on every day, and you can get you an everyday slot, you see what I'm saying? Where people can turn on every day and hear you, then that's probably gonna help you with growth. But if you can't, it's a waste of money. Go ahead. Radio, I would say avoid it. Billboards. Television time is extremely expensive. Cable access is one possible exception. We don't have cable access here no more. Now that expeditiously helped with my growth, because I used to do, see people shout your vision down. I was over there in Hollybrook, and I told my people we was going on TV. They looked at me like I was crazy. But I took a year, and I taught myself all this camera stuff, and I taught myself how to video edit. And I ran a access program. You've been seeing my program. I ran an access program for at least a good 3 or 4 years.
You let me come on.
Yeah, I put you on my access program. And so now that was free. But now what Comcast did was they just gave the station to the school board. Because every cable station is supposed to provide local access for the public. It's the law. And they can't charge you to go on it. But Comcast didn't want to update their equipment over there because it was all still Arglon. So they just gave the whole station to the school board. School board don't even use it. So it's not even on no more. So we really don't have a local access in Jacksonville. But if it ever comes back, you better believe we all need to be a part of it. People used to see me all the way at the beach. I was in Arlington at the time. I mean, in Riverside at the time. And people used to drive from the beach to Riverside. And you would be surprised at the people that looked at local access television. I mean, I would be all over Jacksonville and get recognized when I was on local access. I mean, it just used to shock me because I figured nobody was ever watching. Now, what I did, which was I put the phone number on there, I made it my cell phone. So when people would jump up and call, they would get me. And they would get me. I would keep my cell phone on me during the program, and they would virtually get me. And I made a lot of connections that way. So hopefully one day Jacksonville will bring it back. Because it was a really, really good thing. And I did it, it wasn't expensive. I mean, it wasn't expensive. No, they didn't charge you nothing for the programming. You had to make the tapes and stuff, but then after a while, you didn't even have to make the tapes. You could upload your video straight to their server, and they would do it that way. So it's a good thing. Go ahead. All right. Gather a large group Sunday morning is a great time to launch a new idea. Let's go to 201. Let's go to 201. Okay, so look at this. All those things there on 201. Has your launch team reached the critical masses? Do you have a shared vision for what the church will be like? And all these different things. I want you to use these as a basis, if you're not starting a new ministry, as a basis for your new idea. We talk a lot about small groups, y'all. We don't use the small, yeah, right there where it says preparing for your launch. Listen, y'all, we don't use the small groups in our churches properly. When we look at other denominations and other people, they use all of these groups. The choir, your Sunday school. You see what I'm saying? They use these groups. They use these groups for connection, and they use them to put out information. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes people need to hear things over and over again. So sometimes even, you need to have the Sunday school teachers put out certain very, very important information. Not read a list of stuff every week, but listen, before I end my class, Pastor wanted me to remind everybody about this right here. You see what I'm saying? We got to use these small groups as places of connection, not just teaching, places of connection. We got to loose the Sunday school teachers to get in touch with some of these folk. Let them know. We're going to start a list. We're going to get everybody's number. Because sometimes that Sunday school teacher need to reach out beyond the lesson and call them and, you know, and create momentum for certain ideas. Same thing with the choir. Same thing with the deacons or the men's ministry. You know what I'm saying? I'm revitalizing my men's ministry. We're going on a fishing trip. I'm revitalizing my men's ministry. The dude that's over it ain't no preacher. He just a man's man. He's an older guy. He like doing man things. That's who I put over it. Plan events. I don't want to preach to him. I want to connect. Preach to him every Sunday. I don't want to get them together for a worship service. No, I want this. We got to use the small groups as a place of connection. That's what we got to use them. The women's ministry. You know, let them women get together. Some pastors don't want folk at church do nothing. Plan something for them women. You know, let them get together. Let them go somewhere. That creates connection. That's the reason we lose certain people. Because when they go to the other churches, they like, well, oh, we go out to dinner. People like that. They just like it. They like the connection. You know? Oh, my Sunday school teacher called me. You know, get that Sunday school teacher, get a good roster of everybody that's normally there. And when somebody out, you ain't got to do that much work. The Sunday school teacher can call them. They in the class. The Sunday school teacher ain't seen them in 2-3 weeks, so what? So the small group, the Sunday school teacher calls them. Make that one the Sunday school teacher's job. Look, you need to get a roster of your class who's normally there, get everybody's email address and their name, and when you don't see, you know, I'm not saying call everybody every week, but the person been out, you know, they normally in Sunday school, and they ain't been in Sunday school all month. And then you trying to look out there and do, no, use a small group. The Sunday school teacher could have been brought them back in before you even thought about it. Sunday school teacher got them brought back in. Why? Because they got the freedom to call people to build a connection with their class. Same thing with the choir. The worship leader need to do more than just playing songs. You need to separate your hired worship leader from your worship leader for your church. Because your worship leader for your church need to keep the choir connected. That's part of their job. Not just get them together and get songs, but make them one. So then we cut out all that mess that go on. You know what I'm saying? Because now they won. So I know we got the people we paying to play the music and do all that. They fine, but I'm talking about in your church, you need to have a worship leader that keep that small group connected. You know, that maybe, okay, let's get together and pray. You know what I'm saying? And who's checking on them? They dealing in worship. They dealing with demons. Who's checking on them? That's their job, the worship leader's job. He ain't got to be no singer. You the worship leader. Make one of, I know churches pick one of the elders, pick one of their ordained people. You over the choir. They show up to the rehearsal. They pray with them. They check on them. Somebody else handle the music. They ain't even singing. But they are elder in the church, so they over the choir. And so they show up to rehearsal sometime and say, you know, listen, y'all, especially we gotta form these connections better. We gotta train the people we trust. We gotta loose the people we trust to be able to check on folk. We gotta loose the people we trust to be able to check on people, because we can't check on everybody. Stuff miss us all the time. But there's people in there that you trust. You see what I'm saying? That you got in a position. Come on, use them. The deacons ought to be tight. You know what I'm saying? You got deacons in there, they ought to be tight. You know, and that might need to be your group. The deacon and the elders, that's your group. You see what I'm saying? The men that you pull close to you, I need y'all to be solid to help me run this place. Go ahead. Statistical evidence supports that new churches using big launch methods are larger than those that do not. So you need to have a launch event. Let's look at growth. Creating continuous connections, small and large. That's what I'm talking about. That's what we was never taught. Creating, that's starting in chapter 17. Yeah, 203. Creating continuous connections, y'all, in the church. Thank you. We could be religious. I used to be religious. I used to say, oh, yeah, well, You know, we need to connect that service. I used to say that. Now that I done got mature, no. Need to be other stuff going on. I'm not saying we need to have a dinner every week, but in these groups, we need to have connection stuff going on. These young people, when the last time you know what I'm saying? When the last time I make sure I make connections. Some of my young guys came to church. They hadn't been to church for a while. I found a job for them and paid them on Sunday. I said, I told before I started preaching my message, I said, hey, good to see y'all. Y'all hang out for a minute. Pastor got a job for you. And I took them in the back, 2 of them, young guys go to high school, and I let them help me do a job, and I paid them. It's connection. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? We got to train our people to do this, large and small. The reason people wander off, because they don't feel connected. So they wander off. You be like, well, they didn't come but 2 or 3 times, and then they didn't. You know why? Because didn't nobody speak to them, didn't nobody talk to them, didn't nobody try to form a connection with them. The easiest thing to do is to have a smaller group that they can join. You know, that's the reason you have new members class. It creates a connection between you. And so what I do is I don't have a lot of them, but once a month, I have a little brunch thing for them. I'm going to do it next month, I think. And I'm doing it next month? Yeah, in April. I'm going to do it in April. I just have a little brunch. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all big enough to have a weekly meeting with them folks. Some of y'all are big enough to have a weekly meeting with those people that have joined your church in the last 90 days. No reason they don't ran off? Because the flakes done got to them. I'm going to just leave that there. The flakes done got to them. The flakes done got to them before you could get to them. The flakes done got to them and talked to them because they're a little upset about what you're doing or whatever. The flakes done got to them and run them off. There's some of y'all big enough, you got over, 50 people. You need to have a weekly meeting with them folks. I don't care if it ain't but 2 of them sitting in there. Have them meet in your office on Wednesday. Come to Bible study an hour early. Meet with y'all at 6 o'clock in my office. You'd be surprised at how you could put your vision in them. You understand what I'm saying? That when they get out there and they hear the church murmuring, it don't affect them because they done had some time with you. And they got to be when I did it before, I used to meet right over here on the first Sunday. Now I started discipleship class. Discipleship class is one of my major small groups. It meets on Sunday morning. Not Sunday school, it's discipleship class. I teach it. I teach about discipling. I teach about how to win people for Jesus. I teach basic doctrines. You see what I'm saying? So one of my small groups meets on Sunday morning. It's my discipleship class. You see what I'm saying? And so you need to have a way to continuously form connections with people. That's the reason we got to get people in there that we trust. Because y'all know how church is. The biggest flakes in the world, they the first one to go up and shake somebody's hand. Come on, let me keep going. Y'all know I'm right. The biggest, and you in the pulpit, you see it, you like, oh Lord, why did they connect up with them? Biggest flake in the world, they want to shake everybody's hand. They want to get to know the newest person that just got there. And not supporting your vision, not coming to nothing. Only time you see them is when they say amen on Sunday. But then they want to talk to the first new person that got there. And you wonder why that person is just as inconsistent as they are. Go ahead. Watch this. We must develop a follow-up process. I was in a meeting with Bishop McGough and say he took in 575 people. And turned around at the end of the year, wasn't none of them in his church. 575 people he took in 1 year. And checked the roll at the end of the year, wasn't none of those folks in his church. And so he redid his whole follow-up process. How do we follow up with people? Go ahead. Designing a discipleship plan. How are you going to train people besides Sunday morning about the doctrines and things that they need to know? Now, you can do that through Sunday school. That's great. but it needs to be some type of discipleship plan. You see what I'm saying? You need to think about that. We don't, thank you. We evangelize well, we disciple bad, because we don't take the time to disciple. We want every service to be an experience, you know. But now, sometime Wednesday and Sunday morning, you know, like my Wednesday, it's more discipling. It's more discipling. I got 2 classes. That's when I do my discipling. You see what I'm saying? I'm not jumping around and I'm discipling. I'm training people how to walk with God. What is sanctification? What is justification? You're using all these words they don't understand. Average seminary student has a vocabulary of almost 17,000 words. The average member has a vocabulary of about 5,000. So a lot of words you're using, they don't know. Average pastor, 7,500 word vocabulary. Average member, 5,000 words. So some of the words you're using, they don't understand them. We need to decide. We need to find good. You can find some good teachers that know how to disciple. That you can connect one solid person up with one person that's just coming in that you trust. And say, hey, call them, follow up with them, make sure. People just didn't know. My former pastor, I discipled all kind of people. My former pastor would call me 3 o'clock in the morning. Son, go down there. So get him off State Street for me. I'd be like, yes, sir. And I go down there. I'd be all down there on State Street. Get him. My wife said, you and him crazy. That's just how we work together. I disciple people. I was trustworthy. He could give me folks, son. I need you to call them. I need you to follow up with them. I need you to make sure can't nobody else handle them but you. That's what he used to say. Can't nobody else handle them but you. Let nobody else, you deal with them. That's what discipling is about. Some people you need to handle. Got somebody that just came in my church with recently and coming out the street. I have to deal with them. Told the rest of my you come to me. Come to my office. Let me sit down. Let me talk to you. You see what I'm saying? It ain't always about rebuking. We take that time. Every time we take it to correct when we pouring into certain people. Personal, you know, discipling. Each one of us should at least have 2 or 3 people in our church we discipling. That we calling and kind of keeping up with them because we know they ain't stable. You see what I'm saying? And they need to hear from you. You know, but what we're doing is we worried about Brother Smith that's acting a fool. You know, and that's what's on our mind. And we go home to call him. You know what I'm saying? But that same foolishness he always doing. And we getting all wrapped up in that. And here's the needy person over here that need to be discipled by their pastor. That you could build something solid in them. I stopped. All that back and forth, no. With them old saints, I stopped all that. I grabbed my new people. People need to be discipled. Them the people I'm talking to on the phone. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Small group multiplication strategy. Listen, y'all, what they talking about is people connect better in smaller groups. That's why you got to have a smaller group when people come into your church. New members, choir, ushers. Don't make people wait 6 months to get involved. Nah, don't make nobody. You got to get them in a group they connect with. If they knew a new guy just joined, then that's your men's ministry leader. Okay, make sure you call him. You see, your men's ministry leader ought to know that. Who's ever doing your follow-up, your intake, ought to be shooting them names to your men's ministry leader and your women's ministry leader. We're going to coordinate a family night. That's going to be our small group thing where we meet here, women meet in one room, men meet in one room, children meet in one room. 3 small groups going on at the same time. That's what we're going to do. We're going to create a family night. We're working on the strategy right now. And when people join the church, make sure you come to family night because it ain't no whole bunch of preaching. It's just activities. We're going to pray together and have activities for people to hang out. Men to hang out with the women. You see what I'm saying? Now, from those meetings, then we're going to have our other little small group meetings where the men go fishing. And, you know, the women like to go out to eat. The women going out to eat. You know, that ain't no clique. See, we get into religious stuff. That ain't no clique. That's a connection. Just make sure you got somebody solid there. That's all it is. Make sure you got somebody solid there with them. You know, how do women in the church never hang out with your wife? You got to change that. They need to hang out with your wife. So they can all build what? Trust. It builds trust. Not saying your wife got to take them out every week, but, you know, at least a few times a year, all of them ought to be in a room together in a non-church setting. In a non-church setting, so everybody could just fellowship and be around each other. And see, we can't build trust in church all the time. That's connections. Go ahead. That's how all that stuff happens. And the unwavering commitment to vision. Watch this. My little thing running out on me. Okay, practical steps. Connection cards. We got some back there. Show y'all. Hold on. Keep that up there. Don't take me off the screen. Your ushers should have something like this. Thank you. Your ushers should have something like this. Just to hand out. Hi, this your first time here? God bless you. When you give your offering, could you fill that out for us? We just like to make a connection with you. And they just drop it in the offering thing. That way, you can gauge who's coming to your church. Now, you got their phone number, you got their email. How did you, look at what it says. It says, how did you hear about us? Have you ever been baptized? Do you have any special gift? Do you have a prayer request? Connection cards. Everybody that visit. Your ushers know the folks that's there. Ma'am, are you a visitor? This your first time with us? And get them mean ushers off the door. Fire them folk. I know you had to fire some of yours, because they joined my church. Let me stop. They joined my church. Ooh. I was like, when they joined my church, I was like, oh, they was a what? No wonder he had a few problems. No. You ain't one of my members now. No, you did not need to be on nobody's door. You did not need to be on nobody's door. You know what I'm talking about, too. You did not need to be on nobody's door. No, nobody's. Fire them mean folk. Get some smiling people. I got a young man that just joined. I just started. He just greets. Says hello. Make sure you talk to him about greeting, too, Adriana. Saying hello to the people. He just sit back there. He has an equilibrium problem, so he can't work. So he sit right back there in that chair. He just greet folk. And make sure you explain to him about these cards. You see what I'm saying? He just greet, smile, connection card. You know, just gather information. We got to start gathering information. Bishop Jakes taught me this. You're only as good as your database. You're only as good as the people, information. We got to gather. That's just part of corporate. That's just part of us. We got to have a unique way to gather people's information. Get their email address, get their name. You know what I'm saying? So we can reach out to them. Go ahead. Connection points. The connection card is a connection point, and you ought to have a person that's a connection point. You got to have a vision supporting nice person that's sitting out there strategically to greet new people with a smile. Not an usher, not a greeter, somebody you strategically got out there. Say, you pull them over to the side, say, this is your job. I love your personality. Whenever you see anybody new and I say, go around and greet, you gravitate to the new person and greet them and form a connection with them. We're not strategic enough. They didn't teach us this stuff. We're not strategic enough. We got to teach this stuff to our people. Growth is not going to happen just by happenstance. We got to have a strategy. We got to have a strategy, because today people need attention. They not going to stay unless we give them some attention. They not going to come in unless we give them some attention, and they not going to stay. Cause you don't know why? Because they can sit at home and watch good revelation preaching on the TV. They do not have to get up. They can YouTube their whole life away and get plenty word. So we got to form relationships and connections with people now. Because they can get plenty word. You ain't preaching no better than Jamal Brown and Bishop Jakes and them guys. No, you not. And they can sit home and watch them guys all day. And get plenty word. So we got to train our congregations how we got to be, that's why y'all see that thing right there? It says a place to belong. You see this right here? This was my slogan. The sound of change. I love that thing. They changed it. And you know what? I let them change it. Because it's got to be something more than just what God gave me. It got to be something everybody can grasp and become a part of. This is what God gave me, which wasn't bad when he gave it to me. But 10 years in, that ain't the slogan no more. That ain't the scripture no more. And they thought of that for an event. And I said, this is it. We're going with this for the whole thing. They thought of that for an event, and they thought we were just going to use it for a little while. I said, put it on everything. I like it. You understand what I'm saying? We got to create that. Go ahead. If people do not connect, they will typically not stay. That's the reason they drifting off, y'all. That's the reason you don't see them but a couple of Sundays. You know, that's the reason they love you. You think about this now. You sitting there saying, I know they love the word. They came up and told you they loved the word. You saw them smiling. You saw them shouting. They was into it. In a couple of Sundays and they done gone. Why? Because we don't have programs for them to connect. That's what Bishop McGoffin said. So you know why all them people went? They went back to their families' churches because they felt connected. They came here and got right. The word got them right here, but they couldn't. We didn't have no place for them to connect here. And so they just go back to their family church or go to their friend's church. Why? Because they feel what? A connection. You done preached the paint off the wall. They done got delivered and everything. And then walk out the door, don't nobody see them no more. Why? We didn't even get their name. They done came to the altar, done fell out. We didn't even get their name. They done left out. We don't even know who they were. A lady came to my church one time, had a demonic spirit. I don't know why she did it, but I had a big stage then. Big old stage got built for me. Way too big for that little 1,000 square feet I was in. Big old stage. And people would never come up on that stage because it wasn't that wide. And for whatever reason, this Sunday, man, she walked all the way up there. And she had a demonic spirit. And I cast a spirit out of her. She got slayed because back then, wasn't nobody falling out because we had tile floors. So wasn't no carpet for nobody to fall out on. See, you know folk be tripping because there ain't nobody ever fell out in there. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody fell out up in there now. Because we had tile floors like out there. So ain't nobody clock, It didn't happen. But she come up on the stage, never got her name. Never got her name. And then we saw each other again somewhere, and she reminded me. She said, Pastor, I was going through who that devil had me bad. And I was like, oh, okay. Never got her name. Why? We didn't. Would have joined the ministry. We had a place for her to what? Connect. See what I'm saying? We can't lead this up to people. We got to put systems in so that when people come and go, the system will still work. We leaving certain things up to people. We got to put a system in. This is the system. They fill this out. Y'all bring this to me. If we get an email address, we got a standard email that we send out. If we get an email address and a phone number, the standard email go out to them on Tuesday. If we get a phone number, on Wednesday or Thursday, somebody call them. The weekend, within 7 days, they should hear from you. Got two or three times we done little simple stuff. I didn't come up with this stuff. These guys been using this stuff for years. I started looking around like, man, why didn't they teach us this stuff? These people, this ain't nothing I came up with. These people been using this stuff for years. It works. They get their email address, they send them an email. They got somebody on their staff, send them an email. You know, they got their phone number, the outreach person hits them up around about Wednesday or Thursday. Saturday, the pastor calls them. So maybe on Saturday, you spend 15, 20 minutes making 2 or 3 phone calls. Hey, this pastor, just want to say, God bless you. Thank you for stopping by. I know they already been in touch with you. I don't want to hold you. I just want to say God bless you. Hopefully we'll see you Sunday. Go ahead. We designate people to connect with new people. We said that already. The follow-up process. It will provide introductory information about your church. It will communicate to people your church cares about people. Within the first 7 days, every visitor should get a communication from you. Whether you email them, text them, whatever you do. We got a packet we give new members that's got the church schedule and, you know, what we believe and all that stuff. Get some of them administrative people. Go beyond the singers and the preachers. You got administrative people. Oh, you're a secretary? We got a job for you. We need to come up with a new members packet. Y'all got administrative people sitting out there not doing nothing. We got administrative people sitting out there ain't doing nothing. We need to come up with a new members packet. We need to come up with a connection card. You nice. We need you to be the follow-up person. They ain't trying to preach. They ain't trying to, you see what I'm saying? So they ain't no threat to nothing. They ain't trying to do none of that. That's what they doing their job every day. They doing customer service. Why they can't do customer service for us? They work in the call center all day. All we ask them to do is make 1 phone call. When we get new people in, you got the list. I want you to call them and just say, you know, thank you for coming. That's all you got to say. Don't preach to them. We just wanted to thank you for coming. That's all you got to say. We just wanted to thank you for coming and just let you know pastor's got your number. You may hear from pastor too. And that opens the door for you to plant another seed. So they get them 3 small seeds planted into their life within 7 days of our ministry. Within 7 days of coming to our ministry. Go ahead. How do you want to follow up with guests? Gift, email, text, write them. Like I said, some churches have a small gift. What's wrong with a pen or a mug with your church name on it? You know, them pen folks send us stuff all the time. I know y'all get them. Pay that little $25, get 250 pens. Here, oh, you visiting here. You turn your card in here. We want to bless you with this. Or a mug that's got your emblem on it or something. You see what I'm saying? Get some of the people that won't do T-shirts that, you know. Go ahead. How you going to gather information? You got to have a way to gather information. Who you will enlist to help you follow up. A true vision supporter, not in money, but also in attendance. You got to get somebody that's there to do this type of stuff. We tend to pick people that, you know what I'm saying, or people that's preaching. I mean, I want you to look out there for somebody nice and quiet that's always there. And say, can we sit down and talk about your gifts? I got some special things that I need you to do. I had somebody in one of my churches that was over my follow-up for a while. And they were just too distant from the ministry. They did good follow-up work. They made the phone calls and all that other stuff, but they wasn't here enough. So they making calls and calling people, and then the people coming here, and guess what? They're not here. They're not here. So I ended up having to take it from them, and they got upset, but you're not here. You're inviting people, you calling people, and you are not here. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, they did good work. They were very hospitable. They didn't try to preach to folks or none of that stuff. But the only thing about it is their attendance wasn't up to par for that job. If you're going to have a follow-up person, they got to be a good attendance person. This could be a job, you might not even need a committee. This could be a job for one person for a while. You get all the visitors' cards, me and you meet, you know what I'm saying? You send them a quick email, you know. You send them a quick email from the church and call them. And then let me know you call them, and then I'm going to make a copy of the card. I'll call them on Saturday. Just simple. That little simple thing can get started right away with one person. And everybody in church ain't got to know they doing it. None of their business. Everybody in church ain't got to know they got that job yet. You know, sometimes we just tell folks stuff to you know. They don't need to know. Everything ain't something on a need to know basis. You see what I'm saying? Because the minute you tell them you don't pick the new person, you know what they're going to start doing? Competing. That's what they're going to start doing, competing. Trying to run them off. Sometimes we get new people and give them little projects, y'all. Anybody even need to know. You meet with me, don't talk to nobody else about this. You know, if it's female, meet with her husband. Say, look, I'm using her for this. I'm letting you know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead. Discipleship plan. When you're thinking through growth of the church, one must think about discipleship. It is the key to unlocking, honoring God, and glorifying God. You got to have a way to train people other than just Bible study. Okay? I'm not going to go over that because we run on time. You can go to attributes of discipleship on your own. Not surprising that attributes of discipleship are transcultural and transgenderal. In other words, that's why a new members class is so good, y'all, because it think about it. You can have in there, I would have in there, you know, 12 and above, teenage and above, so that you can pour into them the basic stuff about your church, the basic stuff about what your church believes. You know, you need to have a statement of faith. The Southern Baptist guys went to my website. You know what I'm saying? When I met with them, they had been to my website and said, hey, we like you, Pastor. We like your statement of faith. Like what you believe. Because on my website, it says what we believe. You need to, you understand what I'm saying? That puts stuff down. Statement of faith protects you. You join this stuff, you're in agreement with our statement of faith, right? That's right. So we don't have no transgenders. It's in the statement of faith. It's in the statement of faith. You see what I'm saying? This is what we believe about marriage. It's in the statement of faith. So when you join this church, you accept this. You see what I'm saying? And so it's important. And then it also, you can pour the vision into them people yourself. The people you pour your vision into yourself going to stay in your church. Going to stay in your church. Now, when they getting this side-hand information, they're going to be shaky. But if you pour it into them yourself, if you take one session a week, I would go back to everybody that's done been there in the last 90 days. If you've been here in the last 90 days, I want you to start meeting with me. Some people get a little 7-8 week curriculum, something they write up. I don't have a curriculum. I meet with them about my statement of faith. I talk to them about salvation, what salvation is, baptism and communion, and I talk to them about the church. Lasts about 4 or 5 sessions. See what I'm saying? And then during that time, I give them my number. So if you ever have some problems, you can always call me. Go ahead. Multiplying small groups. The simpler you make the group, the more reproductive it'll be. It don't always have to be preaching, y'all. Focus on transformation, not necessarily information. Connection will transform some people. By taking your solid people and connecting them in a small group with people that are flaky will help everybody move toward growth. What's wrong is your good, solid people you depend on, they don't never have a place to meet with the other people that need them for discipleship. The people that really supporting your vision, that's really backing you, it's no avenue for them to meet with the new people coming in. And so not only are you saying it, but the people that's really supporting you are saying the same thing you're saying. That's the reason you need to get people out of your leadership that don't talk like you. That don't sound like you. They don't sound like you at all. They don't sound like you. If they don't sound like you, you know, I got those dissenting opinions out of my leadership. You know, they in the meeting, every time something happens, they got a dissenting opinion. Every meeting. Y'all got them too, I know. Don't look at the floor. Every meeting, they got a dissenting opinion. You don't need to be in leadership. Love you, you can be in church, but you don't need to be in leadership. They need to sound like you. Go ahead. You need to find people that are called to teach and that are called to disciple. Not preach, called to teach and called to disciple. I want you to look through your church for your solid preachers to do this. And say, I got a new job for you. I want you to be discipling 2 to 3 people. You know, pouring into them, teaching them. Because you already trust them. You see what I'm saying? Now, if say you got 3, 4 good preachers, and it's you and it's 3, 4 good preachers, that's a good 12 to 15 the people y'all discipling, that y'all reproducing. Because you got 2 or 3 and they got 2 or 3. You see what I'm saying? And then as they working with them, you telling your preachers, okay, if they come up with something you don't know, then they can come to you. And instead of you jumping in and taking it over, feed your preacher the information. This is what you tell them. This is what you say. That's how we train these preachers. We train them how to preach and lead worship service. They don't know how to deal with folk. They don't know how to deal with folk. They ain't got no training on how to deal with people. Because once you stop preaching, you got to deal with folk. I mean, you know, they ain't easy. Hallelujah. Glory to God. Go ahead. No, they ain't easy now. Go ahead. Rather than having fixed time, me and my daughter argued all about this, and she won. Rather than having fixed times, have flexible times. And what they mean is, let's say we've been taught, you know, second Saturday is this, third Saturday is that. Well, sometimes that don't fit into people's schedule. Let the leader, let the time be flexible. You see what I'm saying? So at the first of the month, the leader will say, okay, this month, the men are going to meet here on this day at that time. You see what I'm saying? And so me and my daughter argued about that. She ended up winning. Because I'm stuck in the old school fixed schedule. But it's better flexible schedule. Why? Because then you're going to get alternate people in the church to show up. See what I'm saying? Some people can't show because of their schedule. We said they ain't faithful, they working. And if we change the time to a date that they're not working, they'll show. And so we kind of alternate the time sometimes so we can get people there. Go ahead. Why? Because we want to keep the group small. We don't want everybody there, no way. We want it to be intimate. We think about every meeting we have, everybody got to be there. No. The only person that's really got to be there is your leader that's leading the meeting. And so you're going to alternate the times. Why? Because he going to keep connecting, he or she going to keep connecting up with new people every time. Instead of having it a set fixed time and the same old folks show up. Let's look at vision as we finish this. For growth, keep your team focused on vision. Keep your main team focused on the vision of the church. Make sure you got one. Make sure you got one. What you going to do besides have church? Start thinking about that. What you going to do besides have church? Today, folks need a cause. That's the reason they don't come. It ain't a cause. Everybody, you know, they love preaching and everything, but folks need a cause. You know, I heard preachers say, if you got a broke people, you can have a broke church. I said, the devil is a lie. You want to know why? Because folk got money. I took up a $1,500 offering at a paid event because it was a cause. Took 5 minutes. I got them to say, look, we need to give more money towards cancer. And folk gave all kind of money. Folk got money. I don't know about to tell you that. They ain't got a cause for you to get some of their money. The cause got to be more than just your church. What we going to do? We're going to feed. We're going to clothe. We're going to, you know what I'm saying? What we going to do? People want to know what you're doing. We're going to help the young people. What's our cause? What's burning in your spirit? You understand what I'm saying? What's our cause? You know? Stay in shepherd mode, caring for people, not rancher's mode, just equipping. The rancher just always equipping. Always equipping. That's what they tell us, equip them. No. We got to care for them too. Shepherd is caring, not just equipping. You know, he take time with folk. You know? You got to go back. I'm sorry, go back to your old days. Shake a few hands, kiss a few babies. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with coming out the pulpit some Sundays and shaking a few hands yourself and kissing a few babies and greeting some folk. You know. I had someone leave my church because I downplayed positions. And they left my church because I started downplaying positions. Told my minister, take all that stuff off. Put it away. I got about $1,000 worth of robes in there. So take it all off. We're going to wear collared shirts. We're going to meet people where they at. You know, if somebody want to wear a suit, that's fine. I ain't worn a suit in so long now. Every now and then I wear a jacket. And ain't nothing wrong with dress it. But what I'm saying is sometimes we just got to come down to earth to where people at. Watch this. Remind the entire congregation of your vision. Ministry must embrace new members and new ideas. It's new ideas that we done shut down. It's new ideas that we done shut down. And you know why we shut them down? We shut them down for religion and old doctrinal stuff. Bring me up. That didn't even make no difference. Shut them down. I raffled off a computer in here one time. And somebody, oh, they raffle. What are you talking about? That's gambling. Ain't no gambling. Built the thing. I raffled it off. They gave it to my pastoral care, whatever. You see what I'm saying? We shut down new ideas because we just religious. Just religious. We stuck in our old doctrine, stuck in our old ways. Go ahead. Let me get done with this. It says, by keeping the vision before the planter reminds them of the direction of the church or the new idea. People must envision the core values of your church to support your vision. What are your core values? All of us are winning souls. What are your core values? My core value is empowerment. I want to see people empowered. What I do is empower people through education. Why? Because my name is Aaron, which means enlightened one or teacher. So I am fulfilling my call when I teach. Now, along with my teaching, I empower. That's the reason I have an empowerment center. And I'm doing computer classes. I'm finna get trained. We're going to do job fairs in our church. We ain't giving no book bags away this year. We're going to do a job fair before school start to get the folks a job and they can buy their own book bag. And we're going to start forming relationships with companies that hire folk. So if somebody in our church ain't got a job, they can come and see us and we can help them. I'm going to tell y'all a story about this. I can't tell it on air. Y'all remind me. Go ahead. Vision caster. Vision casting is imperative. If people are going to sacrifice, they must know what they are sacrificing for. I want you to get a new vision. Credible vision caster. You got to be credible. In other words, speak your current accomplishments. All of us have already accomplished certain things. Speak your current accomplishments, then cast your new vision. What your ministry has already done. Speak your current accomplishments, then cast your new vision. Go ahead. The issue of credible ducktails is the peak principle, which speaks that the time to cast vision for the next endeavor is at the top of the peak of the current success. In other words, after every success, there's a valley. After we do something, before we hit the valley, we cast the next vision to keep people thinking higher. I know we just got this done, but this is what we're going to do next. We don't let people settle into the valley. Oh, that's what happened in here. We got all this done and they settled in. You see what I'm saying? And now I'm trying to cast a whole new vision about empowerment. Because once we got it done, they settled in. Man, they settled into these seats. Magnetic booties. Sat right on down. Got comfortable. Look, it looks nice in here. Got comfortable. Ooh, look at us. Look what we did. Guess the Lord going to show up tomorrow. Oh, good. Let me go. I'm sorry. I got off on my own thing. Focusing on the next peak will bring you up out of the valley. Vision hijackers. Educate your new members. Recast vision every month. Thank you. Let me say this not close. You got vision hijackers out there, y'all. You got people you trust trying to talk to people. It always happens and take things in another direction. The way to stop that is you got to educate your people about the direction. And you got to do that on a monthly basis. I talk about empowerment theology in my church every month. You see what I'm saying? If you got to be saying, this is the direction we're going. This is what we want to accomplish. Because you got dissenters out there, for lack of better words, that you love and trust, but they dissenters. They dissenters. You saying we want to go, I had to get someone, I used to stand up here and say, yeah, we want to purchase this building. And I used to have people out there doing this. No, I don't think we need to purchase it. You see what I'm saying? I used to have people sitting right out there. You know what I'm saying? Had one of the, God bless you guys. Go ahead and shut me off on